Yeah, it's something a little lighter today. I mean, go through the weekend, cook a lot of barbecue, eat a lot of barbecue. Maybe in the early part of the week after that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you want something just a little bit lighter, but still delicious. So we're gonna be making the Unbeetable Salad today, and it contains beets and chicken and some other really good stuff, some nuts, some dried cranberries, goat cheese. But first, we got to get started with our beets. And what I've got here are 2 pretty good sized golden beets. We're going to be peeling these, slicing these, seasoning these, and roasting these. So first, let's go ahead and get our stems off here. I've already gone ahead and rinsed these off. We're just going to cut right along there. Love that nice golden color of golden beets. And we'll get the bottom off too. So just like that, and now we're just gonna take a regular potato peeler and peel these. So we wanna try and get as much of the skin off as possible. Some people will roast these with the skin on, and that's fine too, but I want just that golden color to come through today. That one's looking pretty good, except for some blemishes up here, which we'll get rid of when we slice this, but let's peel our other beet. Now, if you can't get golden beets, you can do this with regular red beets. There's also some other varieties. I've seen people do this with, there's some beets called Pink Lady, which are really interesting. They almost look like watermelon. I also want to mention this is about the time you should preheat your oven to 400 degrees. That's what we're going to be roasting these at today. It's going to take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour just until they're tender. If you were roasting them whole, it would probably take an hour or longer, but we're going to be slicing these, so probably take a little bit less time. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut these in half, just right down the middle. The reason we're doing that is we want something stable for them to rest on, that flat edge, while we slice these. Now we're probably going to lose a little bit of each side here. Let's trim these up just so we get a square edge there. That one's not bad. That was our bottom. This one isn't looking too bad. This one will take a little bit off, and a little bit more here to get rid of some of those blemishes. Same thing here, just a little bit. And now I'm gonna slice these into anywhere from like 1/4 inch to 3/16 of an inch. If you wanna get out a ruler and measure, go ahead. It doesn't have to be that precise. We just don't want them super thin or super thick. So, something like that, a little more than 1/8 of an inch. And if some of them end up being too thin, don't worry about it, or too thick. So I know some of you are thinking, why is Rye doing a salad? Well, I've done salads before. I like eating salads. I can't eat brisket and pork butt all the time. Maybe you can, but I do like something a little lighter but still flavorful. All right, our beets are ready. Let's go ahead and season them up. So our beets are in a bowl here, and I just want to hit these with a little bit of olive oil, maybe a tablespoon or 2. Just mix those around. I'm gonna give these a good pinch of kosher salt here and some black pepper. Mix them up a little bit. These have such a wonderful flavor on their own when they're roasted that it doesn't need a lot of seasoning. Plus, they're gonna be in the salad with some dressing and some other great ingredients. There we go. Let's go ahead and get these on a baking tray. Just wanna go ahead and arrange these on this tray, and I've got a piece of parchment paper down on here. See if we can fit everybody, or if I need to do a second tray. We'll see. If they touch, that's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. And if you just alternate a little, you can tuck them a little bit closer in some spots. I think we may be able to fit everybody here. Get some on the edges over here. All right, these are going in the oven, as I mentioned, at 400 degrees. And in about 30 minutes, we'll check them, see if they're tender. You can just use a little, like a skewer. You can use a fork, the tip of a knife, anything just to give you that sense of how tender they are. And once they're tender, we're gonna take them out, let them cool just at room temperature for about half an hour, and then I'm gonna put them in the fridge for probably 2 to 3 hours. Really want these chilled down because this is a cold salad. It's not a hot salad we're making today. So let's get these in the oven. So our beets have been in for 30 minutes. Here they are. Let's go ahead and see how we're doing tenderness-wise. That feels good. See, I don't want them mushy. I want you to be able to bite through them. but not super mushy. That feels good. Now, every oven is different. You're gonna have to check these. So at 30 minutes, yours might be overdone. So if you know your oven goes a little hot, check it at 20 minutes. So now I'm gonna transfer these to a tray with a rack on it so they can cool a little more easily, and then they're gonna go in the refrigerator. One of the things the parchment paper does here is it can help you transfer these fairly easily. Just separate these a little bit. So these are gonna cool right here now for probably 30 minutes, then they're gonna go in the refrigerator for about 3 hours. So I'll bring you back in about 3 hours when we start assembling the salad. We're gonna make the dressing, cut up some of the other ingredients. It's gonna be terrific. All right, our beets have been chilling for 3 hours in the refrigerator, and before we get those out and start assembling everything else, let's get our dressing made. Now, in my jar here, I've got about 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. I like using a jar like this because it's really easy. You get all the ingredients in there, you put the lid on, and you shake. It's a really simple way to mix dressing. So that's 1/3 of a cup of olive oil, and to this, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice. We're also gonna add about 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Next up, 2 tablespoons of honey. This is a honey lime vinaigrette, so we need some honey. So about 2 tablespoons. We'll just try not to get too messy with it. But with honey, it's not always easy. Next up, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of regular granulated white table sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of a coarsely ground black pepper, about 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, and the zest of 1 lime. Get our lid on, and we're gonna shake. Let's get a little taste of this here. Ooh, that's really nice. But you know what? I want a little bit more honey in there. I'm gonna go with another tablespoon of honey. Go in for another little taste here. Yes, just up that sweetness a little bit. That's really good to me right now. All right, I'm gonna set that aside, and we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of our salad ingredients out here. So we have several ingredients to get ready here, and we're gonna try and move through them fairly quickly. The first one is this. This is a watermelon radish, and we're gonna go ahead and peel it. And you don't 100% have to peel it, but I like to peel it. Then I wanna take the ends off, and we're gonna slice this as thin as possible. Just take your time. And if it's little bits of pieces that aren't rounds, that's fine. In fact, why don't we grab a quick taste? I love radish. In fact, you know what? If you're having trouble like I am here, cut it in half, give you a good flat surface. That's what we're looking for here, just really nice pieces. In fact, some of these that are too big, you can just cut those in half if you want. Just give a little bit more of a bite-sized piece. Now we've got a nice green apple here. This is a Granny Smith. And I just want to get these into littler pieces. Just like that. So there we go. We have our Granny Smith apples and our radishes. Let's move on to our next ingredient. So what I have here is some roast chicken breast from the deli. It's just cut into thicker slabs. I asked them not to slice it. I just wanted a couple big pieces here. And we're just gonna break this down into smaller pieces to go in the salad. If you wanna cook your own chicken, no problem there. Buy a pre-cooked chicken and shred it, no problem there. This is what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna turn this and kind of work my way down here so we can get into little cubes. Should have grabbed my chef's knife instead of this vegetable knife, but we'll make do. Turn it this way, and little cubes. Now you could use turkey breast or really any other kind of meat, but I think chicken goes really well with this. Let's take a taste. Now before we start assembling the salad, there's one more thing I want to do. I want to take these golden beets and the large ones, I want to break them down into some smaller pieces. Now, you can start that way by chopping them into smaller pieces, but they tend to cook even more quickly. These only took 30 minutes in the oven. Want to give it a little bit of time to get that sort of nice texture to them without being mushy. So cutting them into smaller pieces, I find that you have a chance to get that mushiness that I don't want. So leaving them a little larger and cutting them later works well. So we're just going to get some of these bigger ones out of here, and we're just going to start cutting them down a bit and stack them up, really maybe into thirds here. Just kind of like that. Just stack them up, go into thirds. Golden beets especially have such a sweetness to them when you roast them. Get everybody back in our bowl here. Let's get our big bowl of salad out here, start adding ingredients, and build this unbeatable salad. So I have a large bowl of lettuce here, and it's got 3 different types of greens in here. It's got some regular sort of green lettuce, it's got a red lettuce, and we have some spinach leaves in here too. So I just chopped everything up, and the reason I didn't get into a lot of detail about this is it's really about using the lettuce and greens that you want. You can use whatever you want here. Now, first I'm going to add the golden beets, but not all of them, just about half of them, maybe a little bit more than half. We're just going to sprinkle them in here because we want some of them left to garnish the top of this salad when we plate it. This is just our mixing bowl. It's not our presentation bowl. Probably about like that. Next, our chicken. All of the chicken. And as far as amount goes, that was probably about a pound of chicken that I had, maybe a pound and a half. You can add as much as you want. Now I'm going to add our cut up apple and this watermelon radish. Next, I have about half of a medium red onion that's been sliced into sort of those slivers and rounds. So you can see how those are like that. They're not chunks, they're actually sort of those, like I said, slivers. We're gonna add 1 cup of dried cranberries. And I have a cup of candied pecans, and I'm gonna use about half to 2/3 of them right now. Next up, some goat cheese. And I like to use things that look interesting in the store. This is a fig and grapefruit goat cheese. Really nice flavor. I'm gonna use just about half of this, and it was just one of those small sort of packages of goat cheese. And I just want to crumble this here that we'll be mixing in, and I'm going to save the rest for garnishing the top. Just love good goat cheese. You could use feta cheese if you wanted, or any kind of cheese. If we're going light, go with the things you really enjoy. Finally, our dressing, and I'm just going to give it a quick little shake here, and we're just going to pour it all over here. Now you could make more dressing, less dressing. I don't like my salads to be soupy with dressing, so for me, this is the proper amount of dressing. If you like a really soupy salad, make more dressing. Now I'm just going to mix this all together. Go down at the bottom, bring that lettuce and that spinach up, rotate the bowl, distribute that dressing. And remember, you can add anything you want to this. I'm just going for generally lighter ingredients. Even the cheese isn't bad there. It's not a whole lot of cheese. We've got great ingredients in here with those beets, radishes, that chicken. Candied nuts are bringing a little bit of sugar too, but you know what? That's okay. Even if you're eating light, you can have a little bit of an indulgence. All right, let's get this into a bowl for presentation. Just love the different colors in here. Those golden beets, apples, just a really nice mix here. And again, you could add anything you want. You want some red bell peppers? You can go for red bell peppers. All kinds of things you could put in here. The first thing I want to do here is I want to get some of this goat cheese on top. I'm just going to break up pieces. And if you can find goat cheese like this that has unique flavor like fig and grapefruit, really give it a shot because that's a really nice way to change things up. Now for some of our golden beets, our roasted golden beets. To me, these are the star of the show. They just bring such great color, such vibrance, such flavor. If you've never had beets or golden beets, give these a try. They are awesome. And as you can see, they were totally easy to make in the oven. 30 minutes. Now some of our candied pecans here, we'll just fit them in the spaces in between the beets. These are the money beets. Any Office fans out there? You know where that comes from then. I do not believe these are Schrute Farms beets. And there we go, the Unbeatable Salad. We have our nice golden beets. We've got chicken. We have goat cheese. We have candied pecans. We have so many things in here, and they're all gonna taste great together. So I'm gonna get a little dish, and we're gonna have a taste. So I've got a little bowl here, and I'm just gonna get a little bit of everything that I can. Probably can't get everything in one forkful, but we'll try. Got some chicken here, get some lettuce. I think we have a little bit of everything, even a tiny bit of cheese on the end here. Let's see. You know, as I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted to do something lighter. We all spend the weekends, or a lot of us spend the weekends, barbecuing, having those heavier foods, which taste great and love doing that, but sometimes you do want something a little lighter as long as it tastes good and is satisfying. And man, this is. And if you decide you want to do something like this, experiment with your own flavors. Just realize that you can take ingredients like this, these so-called healthy things like salad, which I love anyway, and you can really give them great flavor, use some unique ingredients, super satisfying and tasty.